Thank you so much for joining us in this instructional video of how to use the 7 ways to calm my body emotional regulation sheet. Hi, I'm Jackie Flynn. I'm the host of Play Therapy Community Podcast. This first technique is called the body scan. It's a bottom-up approach that focuses on bodily experiences. When trauma happens, and that's a distressing or disturbing event or events in someone's life, that could result in people just disconnecting from their body. So bringing awareness back to the body through the body scan can help aid in the processing and just the capacity to connect with self and others. It is important to know, though, that the felt sense of emotions through the body scan can sometimes be overwhelming. So it is important to be present with your clients and explore any associated thoughts, any emotions, any images that may come up. So here's an example of how to do the body scan with your clients. Just have you scan your body for any tight, any tense, or any unusual sensations. I'm going to share an image with you real quick. And this image is, it's a sheet that I have that says 7 ways to calm my body. So this is something that if you practice it a few times a day, your body kind of gets used to being able to calm itself through these activities. So the first one we're going to do is the body scan. And if you see right here, you'll see these little figures. This is what we think of as like a neutral feeling. And this next one is like that happy, excited feeling, kind of what it feels like in your body. This next one illustrates like when someone feels worried, they may feel a tightness or heaviness in their chest or their stomach. They may even feel like a knot in their throat or just a lot of thoughts racing through their heads, or have their arms or the legs feeling kind of numb or weak. This next one is like what anger feels like. You could have like this kind of burning hot feeling in your chest, or a hot face. Sometimes people's teeth grit, or they feel tight and tense, and they get this feeling like they just want to punch something. And this last one is what sadness looks like, or hopeless. See how he has like a heavy heart and feeling kind of heavy. What I'd like you to do is just scan your body. Close your eyes. And I'd like you to just notice any sensations that you're feeling in your body at this moment, from the top of your head to the bottom of your toes.
I feel kind of like a neutral feeling.
Kind of like a neutral feeling. So if we were to think of 0 to 10, with 0 being nothing at all and 10 the most, that neutral feeling, would you say it's like a 0?
It's, like a 0 or 1.
Okay, like a 0 or a 1, just a little bit. This second technique is called breathe into the ground. This is another way to approach grounding that allows us to tap into the healing power of nature and visualization. Through this combination, deep breath work integrated with nature imagery allows the nervous system just to regulate. Here's an example of how to do the breathe into the ground technique with your clients. So I would like you just to imagine that you can breathe into the ground. Are you wearing shoes or are you barefoot?
I am barefoot.
So you're barefoot. So what we're going to do is just breathe in through our nose and imagine that that breath can go all the way deep into the ground, about 6 inches. And then we're going to hold it there for a little bit, and then we're going to breathe out through our mouth. And on that out breath, just let our bodies just relax. Okay? So breathe in through your nose.
Yep.
All the way down to the ground. Hold it. And now breathe out from that space. Letting your body relax. This time, just gently close your eyes. Breathe in through your nose. Hold it. And out through your mouth. Letting your body release. What are you noticing in your body?
I'm more calm.
third technique is called the 5-4-3-2-1 senses. This technique metaphorically pushes the pause button, and sometimes the pause button is exactly what's needed. It makes me think of Viktor Frankl's quote of, "In between the stimulus and the response, there's a space, and in that space lies freedom." This technique provides that space. I've seen this technique actually prevent ab reactions in session. So that's just an out of proportionate response to distressing or disturbing occurrences in session. It may be a thought or something that's said or expressed that really has an out of proportionate response. I've also heard from some of my clients over the years that they've used this technique when they felt a panic attack starting to come on, and this actually circumvented it. So here's a demonstration of how I use the 5-4-3-2-1 senses technique in session with my clients. So for this next one, we're going to do the 5-4-3-2-1 sensory activities. So I'd like you just to look around the room where you are, and I'd like you to pick out 5 things that you can see. And then
I got it.
them all out. Tell me what you see.
I see soap. I see a candle. I see fire. I see a water bottle, and I see a book.
Okay. And what are 4 things that you can hear?
I can hear. I just heard a door shut.
Yeah.
I can hear my dog outside. I can hear my sister upstairs, and then I can hear you right now.
Okay. All right. So 3 things that you can touch within your reach right now.
I have my mouse. I have my computer, and then I have a box.
Okay. And 2 things that you like to taste?
A potato
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds good.
and an avocado.
Oh, okay. And 1 thing that you like to smell?
A candle.
So a candle. This next technique is called the calm place. This is a visualization technique that I use quite frequently in my EMDR therapy work. EMDR stands for eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing. It is important to know that this works really well for some people, but not for everyone. Sometimes people struggle to make a calm place. Their trauma can be so intense that it can become contaminated. So if they struggle with this calm place, then you may just want to use something else, another regulatory technique that you see in this video, or another one that you know of. So the directive here entails asking the clients just to visualize a calm place, followed by a description of it using all of their senses: the sights, the sounds, the touch, the smell, and taste, if there is taste in their image. A place that they feel calm and relaxed, a place where they're the only one in the image. That part is important. And then once they've done that, it's helpful to ask them to just tap it in slowly through the butterfly hug. Here's a demonstration of how I use a calm place in session with my clients. So I'd like you to think of a calm place, a place where you're the only one in this space. It can be real or it can be imaginary, and I'd like you to describe it with as many senses as you can. Sense of sight, your sense of smell, hearing, anything you could touch.
I can feel sand.
Yes.
I can feel water.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel currents and the waves. I hear waves crashing. I hear the water hitting shells.
Yeah.
I hear people having fun. I smell like food. I smell food.
And you smell food. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And it sounds like this place is the beach. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds incredible. So I'd like you to just go to that visualization, go to the beach in your mind, close your eyes, and we're just going to real slowly tap that in, thinking about the beach. And pause. And open up your eyes when you're ready.
This next technique is called imagine eating something sour for 1 minute. I've heard this technique described as a physiological override. The intent of this technique is to activate the salivatory response in the mouth, to make the mouth water. So creating saliva is at the beginning of the digestive system process. So when we go into fight or flight, our digestive system kind of powers down somewhat. I think of it as like, a dry mouth is one of the things that people notice. It can feel kind of scary to have a dry mouth, so they get intensely thirsty. So many people come to me for therapy with a water bottle in hand when they felt this feeling. It can feel comforting to them just to have that water bottle with them. They may not know why, but they instinctively know that they have the urge to bring their water bottle. Chewing gum can help too. So here's a demonstration of how we use the imagery of a sour lemon to activate the salivatory response.
So next, I'm going to have you just imagine biting into a cold, juicy, sour lemon. In fact, it's so sour that your mouth waters just thinking about the lemon. And imagine that my mouth is watering just kind of describing this to you.
Yeah, I do.
So you're already noticing that. Imagine you have a lemon wedge and you're putting it in your mouth and you bite into it. And when you bite into it, your mouth just fills up with that bitter, tart, sour lemon taste, and then you chew it. And then all the pulp is in your mouth and you're just chewing it. It gets more and more sour as you continue to chew. What are you noticing in your mouth?
That it's my taste buds are starting to taste really sour things, so it's going to the rest of my body and making the rest of my body shake. Well, not shake, but feel like it's sour.
Yeah.
And and it'll kind of stay there because of the sourness, because of the pulp.
Notice that we don't actually have a real lemon here, and you were just imagining it, but it was so very real through that visualization that your body is responding to it as if you were really chewing on one, and it's real sour and bitter. Did you notice your mouth watering any more throughout it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was watering.
Mm-hmm. That's something that you could do as things feel stressful, or if you feel a level of tension during the day or feel worried about something. If you do that lemon visualization, we call it a physiological override. It can help everything just calm down your body in a quicker way by just having your mouth salivate. Some people chew gum, some people think of the lemon, some people drink water. But any of those things can help your body just feel calmer.
This next technique is called the 4-7-8 breathing technique. The nervous system loves the intervals of this type of breathing, especially that pause in the middle. Some clients do struggle with remembering the seconds for each part. The 4 seconds in, hold for 7 seconds, 8 seconds out. So I just direct them to inhale through their nose like smelling a flower, then hold their breath until they feel slight discomfort, and then exhale through their mouth real slowly as they release any tight or tense muscles. Here's a demonstration of how I do the 4-7-8 breathing technique in session.
So for this next one, we're going to breathe in through our nose for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and breathe out through our mouth for 8 seconds. Okay, so here we go. Let's breathe in through our nose. Now hold it. And breathe out through your mouth. Relax in your body with that exhale. And one more. Breathe in through your nose. Hold it. And breathe out through your mouth.
This last technique is called tighten and shake. This technique supports the somatic release of stored energies in the body. Basically, by tightening, softening, and then shaking, the energy can move through the body somatically. Now, I started this technique after using Peter Levine's Waking the Tiger book to learn more about somatic awareness. If you haven't read that book, Waking the Tiger, I highly recommend it. I think I've listened to it on Audible maybe 11 times. Each time that I've listened to it, I have gotten something new from it. It is so good. I love the part where he refers to the experiment with the polar bear, just kind of noticing the stored energies in the body and how the polar bear shakes to release it, and how animals do that naturally in the wild. So when we do this on purpose in session, we can help clients not only release it in session, but learn a way to move through that activation. So sometimes when trauma happens, the distressing or disturbing events, people are stuck. I know I've had many clients that remember being made to stay in one spot and experience a traumatic experience, whether it's abuse or whether it's some type of accident that's happened, or some natural disaster, or if they've been like in a car accident, something like that, where they couldn't actually move, they couldn't take action, but their body created all of this energy that didn't get released. So it can result in like that tight, jittery, shaky feeling. It could show up in the chest as a really tight, heavy feeling in the chest or knot in the throat. Sometimes it shows up in the stomach as nausea. I love using this tight, intense shake in session. It's great because it can be very playful as well. So here's a demonstration of how I use the tighten and shake technique in session with my clients.
We are going to tighten up parts of our body and shake it loose. So what I'd like you to do is just tighten your right leg as tight as you can. I'm going to hold it for 3 seconds. And now shake your right leg. Shake it. And pause. Now we're going to just tighten up our left leg. Hold it for 3 seconds. And now we're going to shake it loose. Shake it loose. And now we're going to tighten up our right arm. Tight, tight, tight for 3 seconds. And now we're going to just shake it loose. Now we're going to tighten up our left arm for 3 seconds. Tight, tight, tight. And shake it loose. Now let's tighten up our whole center of our body, our core. Tight, tight, tight. And now we're just going to shake it loose.
I invite you to join us in the Play Therapy members community, helping you to become the child therapist you've always imagined. When you're in this community, you'll have access to a growing library. I literally add to this every week, a growing library of informative and inspirational conversations with child and teen experts, some play therapy tips and techniques, much like what you've just seen. Business support for that entrepreneurial in you, and also the library of mini trainings, bite-sized trainings that will give you the information that you need with practical applications to use right away with your clients. So let's go to the members' home. Here's the area where you will have access to everything. Let's just take a peek in here. Here's the inspirational and informational conversations. They're interviews. I have Melissa Braun talking about the power of yet. Julia Cook, she is one of my favorite children's authors ever. She's written over 200 books. She shares with us about her process of writing books, gives us some tips and techniques if you're thinking about becoming an author. And she also shares with us certain books to help with certain issues. That interview is amazing. Also, there's a great interview in there about child therapy assessments with Joanna Pyskarski. She walks us through step by step, formal and informal, where there's some play-based assessments. This one is incredible. Also, there's a video in there about suicide risk assessment. I felt like that was really important, especially at the time of this recording. We are noticing a rise in suicide rates due to the COVID-19. So Noreen really teaches us how to do a solid risk assessment and lets us know about some things that we need to know about. Now, the Play Therapy Tips and Techniques page, you will have actual access to resources that you can use immediately. So here's a demonstration of a technique that you can use right with your kid clients right away, a resource development technique. Also, the Mindfulness Activities online card deck, you just click on it and there it is. You have access to the card deck so that you can use that in online sessions, or you can print them out and use them when you're in person sessions. There's so much I couldn't possibly talk about each one, but like I even put my recent book in here, the In My Body I Feel, a story about the felt sense of emotions. So this is the actual book, and you will have access to this immediately upon joining the Play Therapy members community. Also, when you go to the business support, you'll see there's a couple of interviews in there at the time of this recording. It's growing, I'm adding to it. But there's Ernesto talking about, he teaches us how to use that dual camera setup. So if we're doing sand tray in our office and the client's online, we can use that dual camera setup to do the online sand tray therapy, as well as any expressive arts, or if you're doing trainings, things of that nature. If you don't know about Ernesto, you are in for a treat. He is amazing. And Beth Ritchie, she is such an amazing creator. She's so very savvy with creating therapeutic toys and miniatures and books, and she shares with us her process. She did a wonderful job really demystifying the process of product creation in the child therapy world. So when we look at the mini trainings, so these mini trainings are just bite-sized enough to give you practical application so that you have something to use right away in your work. That way you don't have to stay in a training for an entire day or several days to get some information. These are short, bite-sized, and to the point. So we have Tamara Howell in here. She's talking about how to return to in-person private practice after being online with your clients. And there's one in here about understanding co-regulation. This is one that I presented at a recent event for our local Mental Health Counselors Association. I got really good feedback on it, so I wanted to put this in here so you'd have access to it as well. There's a great interview with Lindsay Bill. She's an occupational therapist from New York City. She wrote Sensory Smart. She also gives us access to the checklist that she uses, and they're free resources, so it's excellent. She recommends making that part of our intake process. There is an excellent interview with Dr. Dawn Brown. She is a guru on ADHD. This video you wouldn't want to miss because it is so very informative. All right, thank you so much again for watching this video on 7 ways to calm my body. I'm Jackie Flynn, the host of Play Therapy Community Podcast, and until next time, take care.